So I am back from Chiang Mai SEO 2025, and it has been a really interesting year for the conference. As you would imagine, everything was dominated by AI search, has been for the last 6 months, but this was just the end of the year summary, and actually a lot of the concepts that people spoke about, 95% of normal SEO managers probably wouldn't fully understand the concepts. I think I got maybe 80% of it. My head of SEO, Danny, who is, I'd say in terms of search, much sharper than me, he probably came away understanding about sort of 90%, 95% of it, which is fortunate for us and our clients. But fundamentally, it's going to be very difficult for most normal marketing managers to navigate. And I think one thing that we've got to do as an agency and other agencies, I must really emphasize this, is simplify what's coming for customers. I think the basis of it is a bit like search 10, 15 years ago, where it can be rife for spamming. So I just think at some point, maybe not an update in terms of GPT, they'll just tweak how they pull in information, maybe how their fan out mode works. But certainly for Gemini, which is Google owned, Google have been known for being super aggressive with algorithm updates. And what you're finding is that there are a lot of results that are getting pulled in for AI search that just wouldn't have had a chance at getting into traditional index are now appearing in AI. Now that's brilliant for, the David versus Goliath idea. You might be able to get into really critical conversations where you wouldn't naturally have been able to place your brand, but these days you are able to do it. I just think that at some point Google's going to flip the switch and change how it pulls that information. But for now, the basis is this: you've got to build a foundation of authority. Like any time before, you've got to have enough meat on the bones, enough link weight, enough credibility in your domain, as well as the people that are associated with it. They're called your entities. So, brand owners, experts, product experts. If you're in a medical niche, it might be a doctor, it might be a skincare person, something like that. You've got to have these kind of elements within your brand to actually be considered to get pulled in. And most scenarios, most AI search, you've got to have a baseline of some sort of authority. From that, you need to make sure that you're being kind of appearing in community mentions like Reddit's, like your Quora, because that's where humans are actually discussing products and services. Now, there was a massive deal that was done with Reddit and Google. I think it was last year now. It was either 60 billion or 60 million. Either way, not small change. And that was to make sure that Google had the rights to access and crawl every single thread on Reddit. And the reason why they would do that is they need to access human opinions on everything to do with real life. Otherwise, all they're going to end up doing is regurgitating AI over and over again. So they saw that there was a need for human experience, and that's why that deal was struck. So as a result, getting featured or talked about in a positive sentiment in these tools will influence AI visibility. When you put in a search and AI pops up, you can often see that Reddit and also YouTube and video dominates those channels. So that's really important. The baseline authority is important, and obviously getting into your tier one, so very well established press titles, again, it's a useful thing. Now, these elements are sort of, they cross over in the middle in terms of traditional search. It kind of makes me think of a Venn diagram. I think we'll produce one to show it. I think on the left hand side you've got traditional search, which has your content, your links, your PR. In the middle you've probably got social proof, citations, user generated content, top of funnel stuff, where kind of the everywhere search discoverable angle comes from, making sure that you're being talked about in all those channels, people are talking about you. That sits in the middle. And on the right hand side, in terms of like all the AI visibility, that's very content led, technical optimizations, trying to get paragraphs optimized and being featured as opposed to pages or even whole sites like it used to be. But that's it. That's the update. It's all the crux of it is very similar, but there are some definite differences between the two ends of the spectrum. We've got services coming for the AI visibility. We've already got the performance managed campaign, which is for traditional search and elements of AI. We're going to launch something that's much more AI driven in terms of all the things that you need, things like listicles, data driven surveys, basically just creating huge amounts of opportunity to get them featured everywhere off-site, not just on a blog site, but in mid-funnel comparison pages, data pieces, anything that might serve up critical information that these tools might want to access. But yeah, we'll be back to you soon, week or so. We'll be sketching out the product and we'll do a hard launch probably start of the year. But for customers that are already in the door, you'll probably get beta access. First of all, you can have a look at the tool, maybe we'll offer some promotion or something to try it. But for now, simplify things, keep an eye on the future. Traditional search has not gone, but it's certainly leaning more right and centre and we need to prepare for it. Bye for now.